The economy has never been productive. Companies are generating more output per worker than at any point in history, creating staggering amounts of wealth. And yet, wages for most workers have barely moved in decades. Housing costs more, healthcare costs more, education costs more. How is it possible that the pie keeps getting bigger, but the slice you are getting stays the same size or shrinks? Today we crack that open, and by the end, you will see exactly why artificial intelligence makes this the most important economic question of our lifetime. Quick recap from last episode. We covered the superstar economy, how digital technology takes a small edge in talent or timing and amplifies it into 100 times the advantage. A tiny quality difference can produce an overwhelming market share. But today's question goes deeper than winners and losers. It asks, what happens to the entire system when technology creates enormous wealth but does not distribute it evenly? There are two words for this: bounty and spread. Let's start with the good news, because it is genuinely extraordinary. Right now, an ordinary person with a smartphone has access to more information than any president, king, or billionaire had 30 years ago. Free navigation, instant communication with anyone on Earth, every song ever recorded, the sum total of human knowledge searchable in seconds, an AI assistant that can write, analyze, and advise on demand. Kings could not buy this 200 years ago. Billionaires could not access most of it 20 years ago. This is what economists call bounty. Technology creating genuine, undeniable abundance that reaches almost everyone. And the optimists make a real point. Even someone in the bottom 10% of income today has access to things that would have seemed like magic to the wealthiest people in history. By that measure, everyone is winning. And now here is the uncomfortable part. The gains are real, but they are not distributed evenly, and the gap is widening in ways that matter. There is a graph that captures this better than any description. For most of the 20th century, two lines moved together almost perfectly: productivity, how much the economy produced per worker, and wages, what workers actually earned. They rose together. When companies got more efficient, workers got paid more. The deal held for decades. Then, around the late 1990s, something changed. Productivity kept climbing. Wages flattened. The two lines separated, and they have not come back together since. The economy kept producing more. Workers stopped getting a proportional share of what they produced. That gap between the lines, that is where trillions of dollars went. And those dollars did not go to wages. They went to capital, to owners, to technology, to whoever held equity in the systems doing the producing. Now here is the scenario that makes this genuinely urgent for the age of artificial intelligence. Imagine robots or AI systems that can do everything a human worker can do. Everything. What happens? On the bounty side, the results would be extraordinary. Goods become incredibly cheap. Productivity explodes. Living standards rise dramatically. Everything costs less to make, which means more of it gets made. On the spread side, devastating for anyone who does not own the robots. If capital can replace labor completely, workers lose their fundamental bargaining chip, the fact that companies need them. Wages do not just stagnate, they collapse, and all the value flows to whoever owns the systems. This is not science fiction. It is the core debate happening right now about AI models, autonomous agents, and AI-powered automation. Every time an AI model replaces a task that used to require a human, the bounty increases. But who captures the spread? Here is the uncomfortable historical truth. This has happened before, every time. Tractors replaced farm workers. Massive bounty in food production, massive displacement of agricultural labor, factories replaced craftsmen, manufacturing exploded, but craft workers lost their livelihoods for a generation. Computers replaced typists and bookkeepers. Information processing became nearly free, but entire job categories vanished overnight. Each time, new jobs eventually emerged. Economists point to this pattern and say it always works out, and historically they have been right. But the speed of AI adoption is faster than any previous technology wave. The question economists are debating right now is whether new jobs can emerge fast enough to absorb the displacement, or whether this time the gap between bounty and spread is simply too large to close naturally. So here is the framework to take with you. Technology creates bounty, more wealth, more abundance, more possibility. That part is almost always true and almost always understated. But technology also creates spread, uneven distribution of who captures that wealth. And the spread is getting wider, not narrower. Here is the part most people miss though. You might think the answer is simple. Own the technology, own the robots, own the AI. Capital wins, so become a capital owner. The problem with that logic is this. Capital used to be scarce. Building a factory took millions of dollars. Developing software took armies of engineers. Creating a distribution network took decades. Today, a single developer can build a product that reaches 100 million users. An AI model costs pennies per query. Cloud infrastructure is rented by the hour. The barriers that once made capital rare are dissolving. And economics has one ruthless rule. Rewards flow towards scarcity. When something becomes abundant, its price falls. Always. So if capital itself becomes cheap to create, capital stops being where the extraordinary rewards go. Which raises the real question, the one that defines the entire economy we are entering. What is actually scarce right now? Not labor. Automation is handling more of that every year, not capital. Software and AI have made it cheaper to build than at any point in history. What remains scarce is something much harder to replicate. The judgment to see an opportunity nobody else sees. The creativity to combine existing tools in a way no algorithm would think to try. The taste to know what is worth building at all. Think about 1,000 accountants. AI handles 80% of the routine work. The value of ordinary accounting collapses. But one accountant builds a platform on top of that AI, serves 100 million customers, and becomes extraordinarily valuable. Same profession, completely different outcome. Technology did not replace that person. It amplified them. This is the pattern playing out across every industry right now. AI is making coding cheaper, writing cheaper, design cheaper, research cheaper. As those tasks get easier to automate, the rewards concentrate further among the people who can direct the technology, not just operate it. The industrial age made physical capital the scarce resource. The information age is making exceptional judgment, genuine creativity, and unique insight the scarce resource. And in the age of artificial intelligence, that shift is accelerating faster than anyone predicted. So the question worth sitting with is this: in a world where AI can do almost anything a routine worker can do, what can you do that AI makes more valuable, not less? That is the economic question of our generation. If this episode made you think differently about where value is actually going in the economy, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you are not subscribed yet, hit that button now, because the next episode goes even deeper into who the real winners of the AI economy are and what separates them from everyone else. I will see you there.